All right, Wintry Wonders, Ales of History and Holiday Cheer.
Yeah, so like I said, this one's definitely different than the last one. It's gonna...
Less Al Capone.
Yep.
Less murder porn.
Totally different times. Well, I don't know about less murder porn. I feel like medieval times and the Roman period got pretty murderific.
Pretty porny.
Also that. I mean, all they had were leaves and loincloths. That's not true. Pretty sure they had robes.
Oh, God, that's such a good beer. I think I got another one. So good.
All right.
I wanted hot chocolate yesterday. I should just drink that.
I definitely went and bought hot chocolate because it's just been cold and
I gotta go get some more tea.
I can't drink every night, so I needed something.
Right. Michelle did a good job drinking our tea, which was awesome because it needed to get drank. But I'm like, oh, you have green tea. I need some other teas in here. I'm used to drinking, having my 18 selections and drinking tea 3 times a year.
I took some tea.
Oh, did you too?
But it was mostly Earl Grey, and I thought that was hers.
All my eggs that I'm not mad at all about. It's the exact opposite. I was like, all right, this tea finally got drank. Then when I went to get some tea, I was like, oh, I have this green tea. Oh, guess I'll go get some tea. So I wasn't that bummed.
That's funny.
All right. Oh, you got the little spiel in there this time. All right, greetings, Bellow beer. Fellow beer enthusiasts, it's a beautiful day. What was the spiel I wanted to say? Where'd it go? Give it to you. It was. Oh, that's the meatloaf thing. That was funny. Okay, damn it. No, not the tidbits. It was the connoisseur one. That one was a good one.
Excuse me.
Connoisseur. Oh, there it is. Craft beer connoisseur conversations. It's a beautiful day on the Body by Beer podcast for us to have a craft beer connoisseur conversation.
Indeed. I'm not going to try and match that tongue twister.
Let's see if I can do it. Professor Rhoads, and today's episode is brought to you by Mustard Later. Mustard Later is the craft beer community's marketing, consulting, and influencing hub when you don't have time to catch up. Mustard Later.
It makes sense to me. And hey there, I'm Liz Hess. Thank you for joining us today. Today we'll be exploring wintry ales, a bit of history behind them and why they're so darn important to us during the darkest days of the year. Yeah. Dark as in days are short, not because there's a lack of joy.
Yeah, that's good clarification. That would be, could be dark.
Could be too dark.
Could be too dark.
Especially for holiday joy
and glee.
Well, people get really sad around the holidays. Some people, not everybody.
That's right, Liz. Winter ales bring joy, not dark, to many during the darker days of the year. Especially over the holidays.
Wait, didn't we just say that?
It does kind of sound like you just said that. Bring many joy to the shorter days of the year.
There you go.
Because in a short itself, people are going to be like, why are we so morbid right now for the medieval episode? I mean, it is kind of funny and fitting as well.
Welcome to medieval times!
Michelle. Is that a Cable Guy reference? It is. It's like she's learning. Look at you go. So good. She's like, yes, nailed it. It's like, I don't even know if I knew that's what it was. I had a hunch, but right when she said it, I was like, that's totally
Cable Guy. Before we get into our main segment today, we're going to start a little bit differently with some Beer 101 that we'll call the Ale Academy. For now, that could change. This is for the perspective that there are no dumb questions. And if you're new to the craft beer scene, we hope that these questions will help you approach your new love for craft in a fun and engaging way.
Let's do... Want to do fun and engaging, or like fun and non-intimidating?
Yep.
Like fun and non-intimidating way.
Fun and non-intimidating way. Okay, got it.
So let's kick off the Ale Academy segment. We're going to get back into basics, talking about the 4 fundamental ingredients of beer, It's amazing how just 4 things can create such a variety of flavors. You know what I should? You talk, blah, blah, blah. There's blah, blah, blah. I have like a little fun bit on how many different like beer styles there are, the 4 ingredients. It went along with the purity law.
Okay. Also, the more elementary, the better, right? It's supposed to be 101. Super easy.
Well, yeah. So, yeah, I guess if we don't want it in there, I was thinking more, it was like, oh, and because of these 4, because you say, like, there's such variety, and I was going to be like, oh, actually, there are, like, this many thousands of different, like,
beers out there.
Yeah.
And you can kind of get into that later, because I bring up, I say, let's chat about the different styles of beer. We've got lagers, ales, stouts, porters, IPAs, etc. Literally.
Okay.
Hundreds, however many.
Hundreds, yeah, I have a note.
Hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands.
Absolutely, Chelsea. So let's start with the biggest component, water. It forms the very base of every beer. Amazing. You know, I actually thought it was milk.
I get why you're saying that. Because of the dairy farms and the prohibition.
Because I just saw a picture of a cow. I started thinking about milk. Actually, we bought a little jug of milk, and for whatever reason, I have been drawn to it. And I never drink milk, and I'm like, milk.
Really?
Yeah. It's delicious.
I feel like my stomach gurgled just with you showing the motion of drinking a glass of milk. My stomach was like...
Yeah, I guess I can't say for sure. I just sneezed and almost shit my pants, so maybe that's what's happening. I didn't think about it that way. Shit. We can cut that if we have to.
We're not cutting anything unless it's an inappropriate joke.
This is my favorite.
That we don't want out on the world. That accidentally comes out.
One of my favorite quotes that you ever said to me, and I realize we've known each other a long time, but she says to me, she goes, "I am one unguarded sneeze away from a disaster," and that is how I felt. Yep. Maybe 10 minutes ago. I was like, well, I guess I gotta go.
You felt it. You were like, oh, God. If I wasn't focused there and this sneeze came out, one unguarded sneeze away from a new pair of shorts. All right. There's malted barley or sometimes other grains, often wheat. This is where beer gets its sweetness, body, and those all important fermented sugars.
That's a great word. Fermentable sugars. I just really like it. I think it's the multiple syllabus. Fermentable. Yeah.
It has to be, if you want to like chime a little thing in there, is like it has to be malted to become beer. Like that's like it has to happen.
That's you then.
Yeah, and I can emphasize that. There's malted. Yeah. Let's go. We're gonna cross that out. I just tried to put has to as one word.
It must be malted.
It was kind of like an extra point with the ancient brewing history that they're like, that's one of the ways they figured out if beer was stored in the containers is because they found malted grains.
Sure.
And they're like, they're not going to grate it. They're not going to malt if they're just sitting there. So they had to have been malted.
Fermentable.
Had to have created fermented sugars. And so that was kind of their way. So that was kind of what my thinking was.
I like it.
There you go.
I like it. Hops are up next. They add bitterness to balance out the malt sweetness and also contribute to the aroma and the flavor of the beer.
Oh, that's weird to do in the next one as we can't forget the yeast.
I went down, I came right back up.
Magical ingredient. All right, don't do that. This is why we do read-throughs.
Dane Cook, everybody. Thank you.
And we can't forget about yeast, the magical ingredient. It's what ferments the sugars, producing alcohol and carbonation.
Speaking of variety, though.
And flavor.
And flavor.
And flavor.
And flavor. Let's chat about the different styles of beer. We've got lagers, ales, stouts, porters, IPAs, etc., each with its own unique taste and history.
Yeah. Lagers are typically crisp and clean. They're the refreshing ones in the beer family.
Also my favorite. I love a good lager in the summertime.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, especially when the fall and winter comes, I go for an ale. So ales, which can range from light and fruity to dark and robust. The diversity in ales is truly incredible.
It's incredible. And to make a quick little note on there, if you're going types versus styles, you only have lagers or ales.
But we're talking about styles.
And so...
Did I say type?
No, you said styles. So I was thinking about adding that little plug. And so what would also fall under an ale would be stouts and porters. And that's where you get the rich roasted flavors and for the dark colors and depth.
And we can't leave out IPAs. So we would be doing everyone a disservice if we didn't talk about the IPAs. Yeah. They are famous for their strong hop character. They range from bitter to aromatic and fruity.
And can even be fruity, yeah. Or hazy, yeah.
Hazy.
Talk about serving temperature is crucial, right, Liz?
Oh, definitely. You don't want a 80-degree beer, that's for sure. But it can vary a little bit, right? So it changes the whole beer experience. Lighter beers like lagers, they're best served cold. So 35 to 40 degrees. Even 40 is kind of pushing it. So don't go over that.
And for ales, stouts, and porters, a slightly warmer temperature, like 45, 55 is ideal. It allows for more of the complex flavors and aromas to shine.
They warm up and they just hit the nose. It's like a punch to the nose.
Punch to the schnoz.
But in the end, it's all about enhancing the drinking experience. The right temperature can make a good beer great.
I couldn't agree more. We've been letting this guy warm up, and it's just getting better and better. It is fun, though. I would recommend if you are new to the scene, like pouring a beer, trying it, and then waiting, especially on dark beers, and like 10 minutes, letting it warm up a little bit, and notice how different those flavors are, because it really does make a huge difference.
And if you have issues with patience, just pour 2 glasses.
That's also a really good way to do it. I mean, you can still drink out of the same glass. It's just going to warm up, right? Unless you're going to put one in the fridge.
Well, sure, but what if I'm a fast drinker?
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
That's what I'm saying. If you're a bit of a lush like me, pour 2.
Pour 2.
One warms up while the other one's cold. That's fine. And depending how fast you are, maybe they're both still cold. You never know.
You never know. All right, now we're gonna jump into the Brew news. This is the part of the show where we discuss craft news local to the Denver area, industry news in general. These topics are picked from some of the top articles over the previous week.
That's right.
So we're gonna kick it off with Denver Beer Co. opening up another location. Is it their third?
Is it their third?
I don't know. We should look that up. They've got Denver. They've got Arvada.
I thought they had more than that. That might be their third location.
I don't remember. We should look up that number because I feel like it's going to flow off my tongue and then I'm going to not know how to answer it. They open up their number location in Littleton. Denver Beer Company has expanded its footprint with the new establishment in Littleton. As the latest opening continues the brewery's trend of growth and bringing its unique and popular beer offerings to the Littleton community. Denver Beer Company is known for its wide range of beers and engaging atmosphere, making it a favorite among locals. Did they take over?
They have 4 tap rooms.
Okay.
Do you remember the Jackass Hill Brewery that was available forever?
Forever.
I think they took over that space.
Okay.
But then when I was talking to Michelle about it, she said that there was a couple different breweries that went down there. So I don't really know. Okay. I hope they went into that space or somebody did because it's a beautiful location.
Yeah. Who just took over the 2 south ones? Was that West Down? There's like a Highlands Hill. Maybe we talked about it.
No. We talked about Westbound and Down last week.
Yeah, someone I just read is taking over 2 locations. One's in Highlands Ranch, and it made me think of the one.
I did see those, but I didn't recognize the name.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's the one that we were looking at forever that I was like, oh, hey, there's one down south that's like for sale. My guess is that one.
Fair.
Yeah. All right, so they open up the 4th location, so it's for its wide range of beer, engaging atmosphere, making a favorite among locals. vibrant addition to the Littleton's brewing scene, which is kind of bumping up. Denver Beer Company actually ran one of my favorite promotions that I've ever heard of any brewery.
Yeah.
And they used to, because their Denver tap room isn't that big. The majority of their seating space was outside. Mm-hmm. So if it was really cold, if you were willing to sit outside, they gave you your beer for the price that the temperature was. And I don't remember if it was 32 degrees, you got your beer for $3.20, or if you got it for 32 cents.
I see.
But they made some really fun marketing where everyone was super bundled up in their mountaineering gear out drinking beer, because it's the most Colorado thing you could do is bundle up and sit outside and drink a cold beer. So I always love that.
Note to self, remember we talked about stouts and warming up. Get a warmer one.
Yeah. Reaching more beer enthusiasts, develop an exciting addition to Littleton's beer culture, promise to bring the community together around the shared appreciation for beer. It's exciting development for the local beer scene. It demonstrates the company's continued growth, commitment to expanding its reach for beer enthusiasts in different communities. This move not only enriches Littleton, it also signifies the motility and dynamicism.
Just say dynamics.
What is the word though?
Dynamism.
Dynamism? Why would you give me that word?
Because it makes me laugh.
It's like the name of a dinosaur nuggets or something. Dinoism.
What was the word earlier? Permeable or something? And you're like, well, I can't say that.
I can't say that one. Testament to the brewery's success, connected to a broader audience. I also think what this is showing is this interesting... I hate to say it because I feel like we've said it so many times. If you're doing a lot of things well, you can still exceed in a market that is kind of plateaued. Yeah. And it's proving because we have all these breweries closing, but so many of those are just getting bought by other breweries that are now expanding. Yeah. And so it kind of watching the cat chase their ball. It's interesting. I don't know exactly I don't know if it's economics is even the right word choice for that, but how and so many are closing, but they're just getting scooped up, and you're having all these breweries open up multiple.
Yeah, I think that goes back to that conversation. If you're treating your brewery like a business or a hobby, like you're saying. Yeah. So if you're doing it well, sure, why wouldn't you take the opportunity to, especially, let's say breweries that are closing, right? If they're including their tanks and furniture, whatever included in, why wouldn't you just scoop it up, right? I mean, the market is still there. You still want to, whatever area it might be, you still want people to be able to access beer, right? What was it like? An average American lives within 10 miles of a brewery. I feel like you still don't want to take that away, but also maybe what it's saying is, some people do it really well and some people don't. And
or if you have more,
doesn't mean don't try.
Doors open, do you need less margins on them? Maybe are they literally just some of these big other breweries just their hands are tied because of the lack of being able to brew enough beer? I don't know. I would like to talk with somebody. Maybe that'll be my goal this week, to go find someone to dig into why that's
I suppose if you have good enough profits already, and the more you produce, technically you get better prices for that, right? You get a better, a wholesale price for it.
Yeah, it's cheaper to buy ingredients, and if you're brewing the same outlet, if you've got 10 or 3 restaurants, it's not as instead of needing 30% margins on one, you only need 10% on each to be making the same amount. Maybe that actually helps when it slows down because you don't need the margins,
right?
And it kind of is just spreading it out. I don't know. We'll have to.
Would love some feedback on that.
Figure out if we can figure out more on that. Anyways, those are the things I'm going to talk about.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm excited about this one.
Good.
Saturday.
Liven us up a bit.
Are we going down?
I feel like I was just this is so interesting. I don't know what to do with it.
Well, now we know what your rabbit hole face looks like.
That could have been way worse.
I know. I'm having a great time. All right, so Saturday is the anniversary of the Boston Tea Party, and in honor of that anniversary, Sam Adams has released December 16th has released a green tea pale ale for its 250th anniversary. Crazy.
Oh.
So a new brew called Green Tea Pale Ale to commemorate 250th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party. This unique beer combines green tea with the traditional elements of a pale ale. Its release is a part of the brewery's celebration of the historic event, marking a significant milestone in Boston's and American history. So it's a fun and creative way to celebrate a key historical event by infusing green tea into a pale ale. So Sam Adams demonstrates their innovation in beer crafting, blending traditional brewing techniques with unique flavors. It honors history, but also caters to the evolving taste of modern beer enthusiasts? Question mark? I don't know. I'm sure it's good because they don't do too many bad things. But
I like green tea beers.
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah, I've had some better, worse. But actually, it made me think of was what a cool event, like, to focus on that within a brewery if you're looking for events in, like, a slower time. Not only, I mean, obviously they're privy to, like, being in Boston for the Boston Tea Party.
Their name is Samuel Adams.
Yeah, a little bit of advantage on their side there, but doesn't mean, like, other breweries, you could do national holidays, you could do local holidays. But what I thought of is, I was like, how fun would it be if you're there and, like, they have, like, actors walking around and like reenacting the tea party and like going through it.
I would love that so much.
That'd be so fun.
I actually wanted to dress in like furs today and come and do this segment, but I don't have any furs. I was like, what would I wear? So you got a baseball hat and a sweatshirt
and giggle bees. So yeah, that would be. I was thinking that'd be awesome. Kind of a fun event. Like it would be interesting. That'd be a good. I've been trying to rack my mind around good events for the slower season.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why it was on my mind.
Yeah. So this next one is for you. You let me know. Mo money, mo problems. It has your name by it, but I'm excited about this one because A, I didn't know it. B, awesome. C, how are they going to pull it off? And I'm excited to hear what you think about how it can be pulled off.
Big one too.
Yeah.
All right. Article from VinePair.com. China isn't the answer to the U.S. craft beer woes, but it could be part of it. The article on Vine, it explores the evolving landscape of the brewing industry in China and the United States. It's discussing how Chinese breweries are increasingly looking to the U.S. for inspiration, particularly in the craft beer sector. The piece highlights the growing influence of American brew styles and techniques in China, indicating a trend where Chinese brewers are embracing more diverse and innovative approaches. This development signifies a shift in the global brewing scene with China's.
It just say interest. We're going to start leaving adjectives out. Now I know that. Leave adjectives out.
I don't know why you didn't know this before. It's like, I like to write with fancy words. Interest in craft beer mirroring the early craft revolution in the U.S. That makes sense. I mean, I feel like stereotypically from what I've heard, beers out of China tend to be like your flagship, like big mainstream lagers. So
I don't need that.
Beers are increasing. What are we crossing out?
The first two. Because you already said that. Cross-cultural exchange. So ignore all those.
Okay.
I didn't even say the fun parts. So it basically goes on to say, I just repeated myself. Why did I do that?
Because you read it yesterday when you were in and out of consciousness.
I must have. And we can pull the article up quick, but it's really cool. Basically, the Chinese really love IPAs. And
interesting.
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense to me when I think about like flavor profiles of Chinese and like bitter things. And I could see like it's maybe something that isn't overly evident. I don't know. I've never been there, so I might be talking out of my ass. But and how during COVID, it started right after COVID because there was this decline in production over there. Anyway, somehow some of your bigger name breweries got some IPAs over there, and the Chinese were like, "Holy shit, we fucking awesome. Love American IPAs."
Probably hazies.
No, more West Coast style.
Really?
Yeah, they like that.
I feel like everyone gets exposed to hazies and they're like, wait, what? These are amazing.
The more I drink, the less I like hazies. And maybe it's just that time of year.
Also the time of year for sure, but I think they get old after a while.
Yeah, I tried to have one from this brewery out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. I didn't bring it over. There's one left. Yep, that's what I was saying too. And I was just like, I just don't like it. And Michelle's like, oh, it's like my favorite IPA, my hazy. I was like, it's just, I don't know. And I'm really into ales right now, like malty.
It makes sense that would be.
And so we can pull it up quick so you can read it really quick. But basically, they're like, "Oh my God, we love IPAs." So there was
I think a group. Just take the story, you read it.
Yeah, there was a group of people at GABF trying to help export beer over to China. But the problem is in shipping and handling, right? Like I think they said they found like a 2-year-old IPA on a shelf over there. Like they shouldn't sit that long, right? Like you're ruining terrible, how are you just ruining production? But so then like their evolving brewing landscape, like how do they start then brewing their own IPAs over there?
Yeah, I wonder what probably be a good Campbell question.
Well, actually I was just going to bring her
craft
photo up from Vietnam.
Yeah. Because where was she at that they like Thailand, right? That's
right.
Was it Thailand or Vietnam?
So they are brewing their own. She's in Vietnam right now, and they have a jasmine IPA over there.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Right? I was like thinking of herbs and different things that are more natural over there.
Maybe we can reach out to a brewery and do a body by beer jasmine IPA.
That'd be great.
Yeah, some breweries. That could be fun.
Yeah. Happy to take that one.
Yeah, how about you take it? I'll jump in. It sounds really cool. It's interesting. I love that they're growing in that space. Makes me wonder why they've been so behind. And usually it's because like big companies are owning the space.
Because Tsingtao now has to expand because homie peed in the malt tanks.
And they have snow. That was the weird one when I kept looking up the top like beers in the world. Snow is like a lager. I'm pretty sure it's from China. I have to double check on it, but it's like has a bigger market share because there's so many freaking people there. It has a bigger market share than like Budweiser does.
And she was also talking about the regulations, wasn't she?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering what their regulations are there. Like if craft breweries even exist.
Another thing they bring up briefly is margins. Is that the Chinese are willing to pay premium prices. Because that's how much they love those IPAs.
Cool.
And you're not going to get, you can get, they would definitely have to import like your Washington, Oregon hops, right? But they can get hops and stuff from England, New Zealand, and they probably already do. Yeah. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I was thinking...
but just different techniques.
What it made me think of was, who's the... Not West Down. Who's the other one up there? I always confuse it with.
Tommy Knocker?
No. On Frisco. Frisco, that's always super busy.
Oh, Outer Range.
Outer Range. So they opened up in Chamonix.
Oh, yeah.
That's their second one. I wonder who's going to be like, we're going to go open in China.
I also thought that too. And like I said, they were at, I forget the name of the company, but link to the articles in
Let's go.
Notes. Yeah.
Let's go move to China and open a brewery.
I'm good.
That'd be fun. We can take the dog.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the cat. All right. Well, that's a fun one. I like it. Jingle, jingle, jingle. All the way. Is it me?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, good thing you're taking that last one. Optimistic Inquiries segment.
Formerly known as Q&A.
Q&A. Optimistic Inquiries. Well, it's not if you like it. I think it's punny, but it's not as clear as Q&A.
No. Might just have to leave it.
Yeah, let's just leave it at Q&A.
All right.
And I can start it with some people had some optimistic inquiries.
There you go. I like that.
We keep that language going.
See what I did there?
The so-called dead months of the service industry are coming up quick. We stumbled across a question on our medias that wanted to know what other businesses were doing to stay busy during these quiet times. Specifically, what creative events are being scheduled for January, February that any of us think would be helpful to carry breweries through the depths of winter.
The dark days.
The dark depths of winter.
Have you seen the really special hoodies or t-shirts that say, hey, you person behind me, the world is a really special place with you in it?
No, that's nice.
It is pretty sweet. In honor of suicide awareness.
Yeah, I like that.
Some lady went jogging by me the other day, and then it magically showed up on my social media feeds. It's like Google now is attached to my retinas.
It's just not her racing shirt when she passes people. It's like, you suck at running, but you're super special.
Secretly, I hope it is.
That's her shit-talking shirt.
Sucks to suck, nerd.
I'm faster than you.
It reminds me of Travis, the turbo-talking turtle.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay.
This is Travis, the turbo-talking turtle. He talks super, super fast as he walks super, super slow. All right. I gotta get back on the depths of winter. Not where Liz took us. Some or most breweries are doing some of the basics like incorporating weekly trivia, music bingo, mud club events, live music, etc. But they want to know what else they've been doing to be successful. So when I read this question and brought it up to you as our potential optimistic inquiry, I wanted to focus on the whys of it, right? Why are these months slow? Well, one, you're hitting holiday season, right? And it's not even just January, February. I get what that's where we are now, but it's usually November through February. Starts kind of picking up March-ish. There's a little bit longer than that, but you have people on vacation because you got long weekends, you got kids out of school.
Yeah.
You have big end of vacation time you have to use by the end of the year. What are you laughing at?
Dark joke. Lame.
Edit out Liz's dark joke.
Liz is an ass.
31.
Yeah, well. Welcome to the show, motherfuckers.
I feel like I'm just gonna I'm not even gonna cut it out. I'm just gonna have it go quiet but happy music. Beep, 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 beep.
And just censored. Beep, 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 beep.
Just a happy music, and we're intermission for Liz's inappropriate jokes. The podcast will be back with you shortly.
I think you should. That's funny.
Right?
But if you start talking about that hoodie, they'll have an idea of what I said.
Well, they'll get the premise of the joke. It didn't have to be as visual as you made it.
Is that a fire or is someone doing laundry? All right, I'll keep an eye on it.
Okay. People are on vacation. People are also broke. Obviously, you have huge amount of spending going out consumer-wise. Also on trips, so people are broke.
Yeah.
It's cold as fuck outside. Nobody wants to be outside, which is why in March it starts picking back up again. At least in Colorado, you're hitting more patio days.
Also, I feel especially in Colorado, the patio day doesn't ever fully go away as long as there's not ice on your seats. Yeah. And if you're actually shoveling the snow and taking care of your patio and not just letting it sit there and get icy,
people will come.
They'll sit out there.
As long as it's sunny.
One, it's just nice to be outside. Is it a kitty?
It is a kitty.
Oh my God. There's a murder mitten under the door.
There is. Yeah, I think the being cold has numerous aspects, but
sure. I'm
outside
also
of it,
cold-blooded, so
also outside of wanting to be outside, a lot of the tap rooms are small, and the outside seating is easily 50% of a lot of breweries, seating space. So you don't know if you're even gonna get a spot, and do you want to be in this crowded room where you got to stand around? It's a little bit more discouraging than when you have the patio open and you're oh yeah, I can get there.
I really liked
a huge mental piece. to almost do like not a live stream. And you can, if people don't know, you can use Google Maps and say how busy it is, but I don't know if people use that feature as much as I do to know how packed it is.
I love that feature. And if you don't know how that works, it's literally just Google looking at the internet and saying how many people
phones.
Yeah.
Phones, yeah.
And how many are pinging the Wi-Fi, right? Or is it the Bluetooth?
It's Wi-Fi, it's location, it's GPS. There's lots of aspects that it's putting in there. But it basically will show if you're busy or not.
Exactly.
But I think breweries need to figure out a way to like optimize that more, because I know that's a discouraging piece for people. Is they're like, man, do I want to go up there and not be able to have a seat? Nah, so you don't go up. Like, do I want to go brave the cold and then have to like be uncomfortable there? Nah, people don't do it.
I did want to say though, we were just at Station 26's 10-year anniversary over the weekend. I really liked their outdoor, not outdoor patio setup.
Yeah, that was a good setup. That was sweet.
Dogs could still be in there, but it was open enough.
Kind of connected it to the patio doors.
Yeah.
They're the garage door, patio doors, right? So then it was all open together. But with
it's like a big circus tent, but it's not a circus tent. I don't know. But you know what? I thought that
like
was really cool.
Connected. That was the cool part.
Because they had a sign up like "Keep your dogs on the patio," and it wasn't super obvious what was the patio because of the setup. But again, it just you can keep people warm and keep them out of the wind. It expands your space. Exactly what you're talking about.
Like
you don't have
inside space of that place without the patio. Small. Yeah, you could. I think the inside capacity they had was at like 68. That was like. Bullshit.
I did see that, yeah.
Like maybe with the whole brewing space, but seats, I bet there was 30 seats in there.
Yeah.
Realistically.
I also didn't. I know I've been there before, but I also didn't go explore.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and then they had the patio at the side too that wasn't covered.
I didn't even see.
I saw people coming in from there. Yeah. So they have the cold, and then January is going to kick off like your fitness, getting in shape, resolution,
working
goals.
on my fitness.
Yeah. So if you want to focus on 4 like kind of specific reasons, obviously the cold isn't going to affect everybody, but focus on those and like choose how you can support and kind of offset those type of issues that people are having.
Nope. Yeah, so then I kind of turned it into dialogue. You already went through it, and that's fine. Okay. So what I'll do is you do that, and I'll go, so you said focusing on those things. So what are some creative ideas? So
where does that jump in again?
Right there. So what are some creative ideas? Okay. Pause for the... And this would have been, I think this was Thursday or Friday. Last week. This chick did 200.
200
like workouts.
Oh, wow.
I'm at 30.
That's a lot.
Like, look at her. She's also a bit older. I bet she's got, I don't know, 5 years-ish on me. There I am. Hiding in the back, red face. This chick's super ripped. She's the one that'll like do pull-ups when you're just supposed to be. I'm like, life goals.
Does the back of her shirt say you're special?
It does. But it's kind of like your name on fantasy football, the We Love Beer. If you lose to me, you must really suck.
Thank you.
I was like, that's such a Chelsea thing.
I mean, at this point, I am in last place, so
I can't win for the life.
I can't win for the life of me.
Yeah. I'm also on that streak now. So whatever.
Well, you're still at least in the higher ranks.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll come from behind in playoffs. I doubt it, because I'm sure my quarterback's going to be out for a while, and then my other quarterback's probably not going to play. Well, you know.
Is Burrow out for the season?
Yeah.
I have Cincinnati's quarterback, if you want to talk trades. He's pretty good, Jake Browning. I mean,
trade Kelsey for him.
That's what I was thinking. But we can't trade anymore, can we?
Fuck, no, we're at a trade season. Summer. Otherwise, yeah, I'd have done it. Anyways, well, I suck at fantasy football. And red light on, we're on.
All right, so...
This is why I don't eat cheese anymore.
Really fucks with you. It's delicious, though.
That's really good.
All right, so tell us some creative ideas based on what you're talking about.
So a couple ideas, brains. I gotta remember what I thought of. Vacation-styled merch or to-go things that people can take with them on vacation. Depending on where you're at. I mean, some people just like here go up to the mountains. So you can have some pretty sweet mountain swag going on. Either do deals on them or release it special. Like, doesn't necessarily have to be like a holiday release, but could be like actually promoted as like a vacation release. So you could have like both. Be like, here's your Hawaiian shirt, and here's like your hoodie and beanie, and you buy them together. Or you can buy them separate. Create something fun, some fun promo with it, right? Like, it'd also be fun in the middle of winter to have a bunch of people wearing your Hawaiian shirts around. Like, there's a lot of ways you can play with that people enjoy being part of. You just need to make it community focused, not just come buy this, but then be like, hey, every weekend or something, you show up in your Hawaiian shirt and you get $1 off beers all day. Something like simple, right? Especially if you charge $50 for the shirt.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, say your margins were 50% on it, which probably weren't that high, but you make it back up with your beer sales and they kind of like offset your costs that way. Or a promo where you tag the company in social media wise, take their beer up to the ski slopes and show that. If you're able to take it remotely, all of a sudden getting so-and-so's beach on some tropic island is pretty cool. Like, it's a great promo.
Your Hawaiian shirt in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Drinking the beer.
Yeah. So like just give some sort of contest that you do like every winter. And I think the thing where promos go wrong is they're short-lived. And I think I bring it up in here. It's like people are like, hey, we're doing it this weekend. And it's like, no, like every winter, start running it, just calling it, like announcing it as an annual promotion. And I get it's a bit of a commit, but like...
Definitely a commitment.
But if you're starting as like the first annual, you don't do it again, like there's going to be very few people that are like, oh no. And yeah, the first couple of years it might not take off huge, but it's going to get some momentum because it's fun and people like to do fun things and be part of helping out small businesses and helping out the communities that they love. So another option on there was hit as a challenge, hit all the continents in like 3 years, and anyone who posted from that continent first will get a free Mug Club membership at like the end. And maybe it's like within the year, or maybe you could set up differently. Maybe every state, right? So that's some sort of goal where people are incentivized to go make those posts and then be like, cool, you're now in the running. Because like, we like to travel light, but I wouldn't be opposed to carrying an empty bottle to be like, hey, like the Europe trip, we hit 5 different countries. Those aren't continents, obviously, but like you could then be like, cool, look at, here's the 5 different places this beer has been to.
So I think it's super fun and like a great way to keep the community engaged while they're not at the brewery.
Yeah.
My organization brain is like, okay, what's the spreadsheet gonna look like? And turnover sucks. Who the fuck is gonna keep track of that?
It's easy.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it's a great idea.
With all the continents. You have the years on the top, the continents on the vertical. And then you just put in their name. Once the continent's covered, you like keep that on your website or something too for people to be able to see. Your bartenders to have access to, so they can be like, oh, this continent and this continent are available. And like maybe continents are too big. Maybe you shoot for states. Maybe you shoot for something more local, right? And you're like, hey,
I like states. I think states is a good place to start.
I think there's just different ways, like trying to just kind of get ideas rolling of trying to get people, if they're traveling, how do you get them to one, maybe spend money before like they left for their travels and be excited to be talking about you while they're on their travels. You can do like even like maybe at the end of every year, like person that posted like free ways to get Mug Club membership. Hey, whoever like tagged us the most times during the year, and like Facebook will give you those metrics.
Totally.
Right? You can
Top fan,
yeah. Like, why wouldn't you? They're out there tagging you and giving you, and like, what a great promo for someone that already loves your beer and it's already there drinking, and they're like, oh, so I just have to. You can do it with like check-ins. You could do it with reviews. You could do it with Untapped. Like, get people talking more about you, and they get a perk. Because why not? They're already doing it anyways. Why make them spend the $100 on a Mug Club membership while they're out promoting you? You might as well be like, thanks, man. We made more publicity off of you than with $100 would have got us. So who cares? Have some fun with it. Let people feel like they're part of your success. That's really the summary of the story.
But as a bartender, how how would I know that someone is a top contributor on Facebook, Instagram, right? Like, I don't have those metrics up while I'm bartending, right? And if somebody were to come up and be like, I'm the top contributor, I'd be like, cool story, bro.
Yeah, but
not really. I don't mean it that harshly. I'm just saying, like, it's like, okay, but how do I like verify that? Is it just up? Is there
to
like
sell the membership? Your marketing team would just give you that before the membership, like your annual membership sale started. Yeah. Or if you're doing something,
I guess in my brain, I was thinking like, actually, that would be a really fun way to like do like a digital mug club membership. Is how, and you got certain either a free beer for every, right, like 10 shares that you do of this post, or you get whatever, that 6-pack or that 4-pack for every 20 shares that you do, plus 10 of them had to be photos. Like,
basically what you'd say
that information would have to come down from the top every day.
You just don't do it every day. You say monthly. Hey, like over the course of the month, whoever our top contributors were, our top followers were, at the start of the month, like we can let you know, like if you want, or we can make an announcement out on Facebook about it, and like when you'd probably want to announce that. And then you just give that list to the bartenders. It doesn't have to be daily. I wouldn't do it daily. I wouldn't even do it weekly. I would do it monthly or quarterly. And then you just have that, and you say, yep, if you do this contributing and you're the number one starting like the month, and you give people like a week to do it. Like beginning of the month, if you are one of our top contributors and we have reached out and told you, you have till the 10th to like pick up your free 6-pack.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like it. I actually really like that.
Digital coupon. It's all about getting people, like, your online presence is meant to give you like the verification that people have been there and that people are interacting and people are loving it, because that's what people want to see. It's that whole concept of digitally, you walked by a restaurant that's full, you walked by a restaurant that's dead. Which one do you assume is better? Probably the one that's full, not the one that's dead. So digitally, you're giving yourself that online presence.
Except for that one time in Florence.
Yeah, the place was great, but it was recommended. The deader
it
one
wasn't
was great.
Dead.
It wasn't dead.
We got there early.
Smaller.
We definitely got there early.
Yeah.
But the place next to it, it had a line.
It was mediocre
at best.
It was like a better Olive Garden, but Italy's version of a better Olive Garden. So it's still better than Olive Garden, but the same par of like, this is just generic food.
I will give them A+ for the ambiance, the decoration. I mean, well, it's old Europe, right? So like,
I thought it was weird. I give them a D-. Just kidding.
Clearly, we're polar opposites. But for the most part, I agree with you. Yeah. Minus that time.
So,
all right. So then you get into
post-holidays, people are broke.
Broke bitches.
Host events that don't cost a lot of money. Think about people bringing...
I really like this one.
Yeah, think about events where people can bring in old toys because their kids just got a bunch of new toys, give them a discount, clothes. Cooking events, potlucks, people can eat for cheap or free. You're also in prime time of when your food trucks bail. Yeah, or like a popcorn and a movie night. And again, these need to happen consistently. It can't be like, we do one potluck event over the whole year. Nobody's going to show up for it because it's way too random. Or if you're like every Wednesday, how about Mondays when it's dead? Like Monday, Tuesday, somewhere in like a slower day, and be like, I think the hard part at the potluck is like, what if someone shows like, nobody brings any food? That is kind of like the figure. I think like you as the establishment need to like kick off or have like a list. Right? Maybe it's set up as an event and people get to pick what they're bringing. Those kind of things. I don't know. I was trying to just think of things that are cheap. How do you get people in the door where they don't have to spend a lot of money? They're still going to be part of the community, but they're not expected to drop $20-$30 when they just don't necessarily have it. So instead, like, hey, come eat for free, be part of the community, get out of the house, so you probably haven't been out for a while. And
I also do like the $1 off for donating.
Yeah.
Did you mention that, or is that a different one? Bring old toys or clothes for a discount. Yeah. Or like food drives, right? Those are definitely big over the holidays.
Yeah. It's something that you can bring people in.
And then
movies are fun because people like watching movies.
If the shit works, right? But most breweries have TVs inside, right? Like, and a sound system. Anyway,
Was
so
the
you
other-
already kind of did the
32 degrees one with the Denver beer coat. Yep. So
super awesome. Love that.
Great one. Great promo for chilly days, chilly weather. Get people using your patio because, again, you have space. Now, yeah, your crew has to go clean that shit up.
Sure.
Can't be covered in snow, but is what it is. Embrace the season. And there's fitness seasons. Breweries could offer like a month-long exercise program, offer discounts for purchasing a full month, or host weekly months. This is where I've always seen, again, where things have gone wrong. It's like once a month we do yoga. And it's like, okay, but I don't really care about doing it once a month. Now, if you told me 3 days, at least once a week you were doing yoga, so I could be like, all right, cool, I can actually get into like a fitness regimen. Ideally, it would be almost daily, right? You're trying to get people like in daily. I understand not everyone's like set up to be able to handle that, but the key component is if you can, I think making it as often as possible is beneficial, and you team up with another workout company that's in the area that's looking to sell their memberships and just get people in the door. And then it has to be consistent. That's what I've always seen and been the issue is it's once a month. And I'm like, yeah, but I forget it. And I don't plan around that. When it's every day at 7 a.m. I need to go do this. Then I can plan around it. When it's like, oh, once a month and something else comes up. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm not going to do that.
Well, I think the hard part about that is do you want to go work out at a brewery every day? Right? Like, we probably would, right? But that's that whole perspective is one drink a day too much, or is one drink a week? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Or you only drink it once a month. I mean, that's awesome if you are. That's where I think like you would struggle doing that.
If you're right next to a gym, you could also do a discount to go there, right? Like, hey,
or maybe give
buy
out
your
like
membership.
tickets.
Yeah,
right?
buy your
Like,
membership through us.
There you
and
go.
you get like a beer, and they get a discounted like membership.
And a beer.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Something in there needs to be more consistent because I do think people like the concept.
I do too.
And they already have so much. Yeah, stop yawning, yo.
I'm so sorry.
Jesus
I'm just
Christ.
struggling. It got cold in here and I got sleepy.
Stop it. We have to shoot the whole thing still.
True.
So yeah, goal would be like every day.
And for these, I want to make note that I really want to remember we have to slow down. But specifically for these segments, I want to be able to like when we post them as shorts, it's like, oh, they talked about doing a fitness event. They talked about doing a donation. Like it's really clean cut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it wasn't. It's just like a mental reminder to slow down. And I know this is just the read through. But remember, we got to slow it down so that
I think where we need to figure out getting better on that is like where is in that proximate minute mark for us to say where I've noticed on the shorts is it jumps into like the middle of it. And unless we're saying this is one of two with the same title, which is very doable because a lot of them are like succeeding. Yeah. They just need to be wrote up that way. The other concept would be
I think if Sam has the script, he should be able to follow that better.
I did give him the script last time, but I'm also giving it to Sam as well. It's part of the folder, so he'll have the script. But it's starting it. So instead of just like, oh, and then there's fitness season, because if that's the start of a short, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Instead being like, oh, another good way to embrace the slower seasons is we're hitting this fitness thing. And like, so there's some way we need to like plug in the start.
So I try to do that with the titles. And I tried the 1, and then I couldn't, and then I forgot to do like the 2 and the 3, and I forget what it was about.
One of the titles I did notice was really good in like, hey, this is what we're talking about. I thought that was helpful.
Yeah.
And maybe that's good enough. We just need to be.
And maybe this is just a mental note for me too, being like ways that you can bring in people during the dead times.
Yeah.
And then 2-3 other ways to say that. Here's a great way to bring people in on the dead times.
Exactly.
Have you thought about throwing it in?
Yeah, so it comes off more like talking, but not like as robotic as like, and here's another way to bring in people, and here's another way to bring in people.
Like they know what we're talking about, because you have to assume they have no idea what we're talking about.
Especially on a short, yeah.
Super elementary.
Yeah, so I agree. That was definitely on one of my like improvements. We just hadn't Hadn't gotten there. All right, solid advice, consistency, getting through March. Once March hits, you really got to get that patio cleaned up. Another piece I feel like that hits this season is people don't get their warm weather merch ordered in time, and it drives me bonkers. Get that shit. Get your samples in May and get that shit ordered by July. Like, stop putting it off so late and having crappy merch come in. Said be proactive about this. We have a whole calendar on Mustard later that we can give you a calendar of when to order your shit. March is a great time. People are warm during the day. They get cold at night. You know what they want to buy? Is a dope ass sweater. You know what they want to buy in fitness season? New fitness gear. Have your shit ready and you will sell merch. People are so bad at merch, it drives me bonkers. Tink, because that's what it says to do in the script.
I'm still trying to write out what the fuck I was saying. I was like, what does that mean? I don't even know what that means, and I wrote it. I really liked your tangent.
Which one? About merch?
Just now.
The merch anger I sustain. Put it in your Google Calendar.
And then people are like, this sucks. Well, don't be such a jackass.
Yeah.
All right. Main segment. So today we're embracing the holiday spirit with a journey through the enchanting world of winter ales, from their rich history to their modern day magic.
The whole beer.
Wow!
Yours, that's a good way to claim it.
This is how I smuggle barrel ages via countries. Keeps it at a nice 70-degree internal temperature. All right. Well, I might
go 98 degrees, Liz.
I might draw a sword, but I almost flung the beer. Welcome to medieval times. All right.
Oh, God.
Let's do it.
All right. That's right, Lizzie. These cozy brews aren't just about the taste. They step into tradition dating back to the medieval times. Winter ales have always been more than just a beverage. They're part of the culture and societal fabric of the holiday. Social fabric. Societal works, isn't it?
I guess.
Yeah. No?
Absolutely, Chelsea. Let's start by diving into the different types of winter ales. Now, you brought this up. I thought it was a really good point, so I wanted to get into that. First, we have what are known as the traditional winter warmings, stemming from England, known for their malty goodness.
England.
Well, I was going to say like the motherland, but somebody might not appreciate that. I'm 96% Northern European, so it works for me. It doesn't work for everybody else. All right. Known for their malty goodness and higher alcohol content to keep you warm.
Then there's the American twist with spiced winter ales. These range from subtly spiced to boldly flavored, bringing to mind a kitchen filled with holiday baking.
That's right. And we can't forget the Christmas or the holiday ales. These festive treats often feature those classic holiday spices and sometimes even fruits.
Fruits, you say?
That's right.
Those who like something richer, there are stouts and porters with the winter themes. They are heavier and richer and often with notes of chocolate or coffee, complemented by seasonal spices such as
nutmeg.
There you go. We said seasonal spices like 8 times and never talked about what the seasonal spice is.
Sure.
Nutmeg. How about a couple more?
Pumpkin.
The pumpkin season. Cinnamon.
Hot chocolate.
Hot cocoa. I was trying to think of like sugar cookies.
Sure.
Sugar. Or do you get into like?
No sugar cookies. That'd have been a good.
Okay.
Then there's the unique Belgian-style winter ales, Belgian yeast strains, spicy and fruity notes to the beer.
They use these strains to add the spidey. Yep. The spidey, spicy.
Spicy senses.
With all of these variations, it's clear that brewers love to experiment, giving us new exciting flavors each season. Hiccup.
Speaking of holidays, let's talk about the historical significance of these ales, Chelsea. Winter ales have been warming hearts since the medieval times.
Medieval era.
Particularly during Christmas and winter solstice celebrations.
Got yourself there. Welcome to your own cruelness.
I still get to blame it on my tooth. Like it's in the way.
Yeah. That's right, Liz. That's neat. In medieval Europe, brewing special beers for winter was common. These were often stronger, spice-aled, brewed for warmth. I think we already said that. Brewed for warmth and sustenance.
We might have. I said it again.
Okay.
And let's not forget the tradition of wassailing.
I don't even know what that is.
You're going to tell us in beer facts.
Oh,
Chelsea will tell us more. People would go door to door, or I'm going to do it now, with a wassail bowl offering spiced winter ale and singing. It was all about community and spreading good cheer.
That's fun.
It
a
is.
wassail.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
Carry a whole keg. It's like the Halloween costume where you're a box of wine and you just have like your little wine spigot out of you.
Remember the first time I went to GABF and I went up with my little 1 ounce pour and it was like a whatever and I shot. I was like, that's great. And I set it back down. The guy's like, I'm not supposed to do that. And I was like, it's fine.
Wait.
It's fine.
I won't tell.
He poured more. Thank you, sir. I will be leaving you alone now.
I don't remember that, but that's funny.
Yeah, we were pretty drunk.
There's a lot of GABF that gets forgotten, but it's a good time. Regulations played a role too in England. For instance, they had asses.
The asses of ale.
The asses.
Maybe we should look that up. Ass eyes.
We're gonna put a C of ale. Look it up quick on your phone. This set of regulations controlled the quality and price of beer, including those special ales brewed for occasions like Christmas. Asses of bread and ale.
13th century law in high medieval England, which regulated the price, weight, and quality of the bread and beer manufactured and sold in towns, villages, and hamlets. So, how do you say it? Oh, I spelled it wrong. A size.
A size?
A size. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Shh.
We could turn it up.
A size.
A size.
A size.
A size, okay.
Ass eyes. The ass eyes of ales.
Including bread, not just beer, but they help regulate the price to keep it consistent based on the weight of these ingredients.
And we can't overlook monasteries. They were often at the forefront of brewing, crafting special ales for religious celebrations. These ales were likely the early versions of our modern winter ales.
Oh, that's fun. Okay. All right. Indeed.
Draw your sword and your eyes, madam.
You made yourself snort. Oh, man.
Okay. Not even a full beverage in. It's just pure sobriety.
Oh, man. These ales symbolize.
Sorry, you were gonna do it.
I was like,
Indeed.
indeed. Oh man, the humidity and comfort, especially during the darkest parts of the year. God,
It's dark. It gets dark at like 4:30. All right. So in today's winter ales, continue this legacy. Their rich flavors and spices are a nod to those traditions of spiced and festive beers from centuries past. From centuries past. I am the ghost of Christmas past.
I am the ale of asses past. You shall pay far too much for this beer. There is no regulation.
You said you're the ghost of asses past.
We just a turd.
My popcorn lung is kicking.
Oh my gosh.
Because you said you were the ghost of asses past.
We'll just overlay that with Macklemore. That'll be fantastic. Let's see. 107. Macklemore. All right. Let's shift to the impact of these winter ales have on the holiday season today. They're not just drinks. They're part of the holiday experience.
That's so true, Chelsea. Winter ales capture the essence of the season. They're perfect for parties or cozy nights by the fire. And let's not forget their economic impact. Many breweries release special winter ales in limited editions, which people absolutely love. I, for one, am absolutely one of them. I know you're a fan as well. And it's a huge boost for breweries during the holiday season. Wink, wink.
The tasty brew and being part of the community, sharing traditions, and making memories.
I am the ghost of asses past. You are a turd. All right, beer lovers, it's time for some beer facts.
Beer facts.
Welcome to the Beer Facts segments where we chat about fun facts about beer. Also now going to be called Sips of Wisdom. Maybe. Okay.
Sips of Wisdom. AKA fun facts.
Beer facts.
Beer facts.
Fun facts about beer.
Fun facts about beer. It's so difficult to keep all these names straight. Historical festive ingredients.
Wait. You can also say all of these or pick 2, pick 3, pick 1.
Holy God.
I gave you 5.
Jesus.
You're welcome that I did that much research.
My goodness. That's a lot.
Actually, that's my favorite part.
Oh, the tactical nuclear penguin. We should have done that with the nuclear fact brew. That would have been funny.
There's a nuclear penguin on here?
Brewdog's tactical nuclear penguin.
Sorry. Yep, that would have been good. Sorry, I was like, what are you talking about?
Historical festive ingredients in medieval Europe. It was common for winter ales to be brewed with a variety of spices and herbs available at the time, such as bay leaves, ginger, cinnamon, and anise.
Anise. I am the ghost of Christmas anise.
Like it's there.
So many dark ass jokes in this segment. I mean, it is the medieval times.
The medieval times.
Okay.
This was due to the scarcity of hops in certain regions, which makes sense. These spiced ales were often associated with good health and were believed to have medicinal properties, a perception that persisted through the Middle Ages.
Oh man, we've moved on.
Was sailing in winter ales, tradition of going door to door, caroling door to door. During the Christmas season is closely linked to winter ales. In England, it was customary for the carolers to be offered a special type of spice ale called wassail. An ale called wassail. Got it. I can remember it now.
It's a whale of a tail and a bale, I know.
Which is made with ale, sugar, nutmeg, ginger, and cinnamon. This custom was not only a way to spread holiday cheer, but also a means of sharing the season's best brews. I like that. I've never had a caroler, but I would offer them a beer now. I might throw it and say, wassail!
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 I've never had a caroler as an adult, except for that one night at the bus stop. But,
I don't know if I even want to know.
This is a joke.
I want to find a wassail beer.
Yeah. But I was in a children's choir growing up, and we went around wassailing. Or caroling.
Did they give you beer?
Probably.
Hey, your parents are like, oh, you guys are cold back there.
It's punch, honey.
It's punch. This is the adult punch bowl. Mm-hmm. All right, strongest winter ales. Some of the winter ales push the boundaries in terms of alcohol content. For instance, Brewdog's Tactical Nuclear Penguin, originally released in 2009, boasted an alcohol volume of 32%, making it one of the strongest beers in the world at the time. This was achieved through the extreme freezing process we talked about last week, where it's frozen and thawed, and you can take out the frozen ice to condense it.
I think that was 2 weeks ago.
Okay, 2 weeks ago. Okay. Winter ales often have higher original gravity compared to the standard ales. Original gravity has a measure of the density for fermented sugars.
Didn't know if you wanted to do that.
Higher, I think it's just repeating.
Yep. Okay.
Global twist. While traditional winter ales have European roots, many countries have adopted and adapted the style. In Japan, for example, winter ales might include local ingredients such as yuzu, type of citrus fruit, or incorporate sake brewing techniques. In Belgium, their strong ales are brewed. Winter ales are often.
Strong dark ales are often.
Strong dark ales brewed for winter often include unique yeast strains, creating complex flavor profiles that range from fruity to spicy. That's it for your brew facts today. Stay with us. I'm trying to think of which ones I like for the brew facts.
I'll let you think about that as I read through this.
Yeah, you read.
All right. So, Chelsea, actually, you have a part in this, so you can't think too hard. Okay. We're going to switch gears and talk about something that would pair perfectly with a robust winter ale. And we're going with venison stew. And we'll get into why. This dish was hugely popular in the medieval times. And there are several fascinating reasons why.
Okay. That makes sense. But wasn't hunting more of a noble pursuit?
We're not there yet. You slow your roll.
Oh, shit.
Well, first off, venison was more available than domesticated livestock. For many people during the medieval period, especially in Europe, large forests provided ample hunting grounds and deer were a common catch via the Jägermeister.
What's the Jägermeister?
The hunting master. Jäger is hunting, right? Jägermeister is it's like the hunting master.
I don't know.
It's German for Jägerstand. It's like a deer hunter. That's what it's called. Jägermeister means deer hunter. Master hunter. Okay, I was right the first time.
Okay.
Literally means master hunter. Oh, there you go. Wasn't it more of a noble? You just jumped ahead.
Yeah, I know. That's why you said you weren't there yet.
Okay. Exactly. Because you just said the hunting thing.
So do you want me to instead say, doesn't Jägermeister mean like the master hunter or something?
Well, I guess if I say it, but I kind of just made that up. I mean, I ad-libbed.
What does Jägermeister have to do with the medieval times?
I don't know. I was just talking.
It's like, wait a minute, what's the connection with it anyways?
I don't know. We're talking about hunting. Master hunter.
Well, you get why we're talking about... Oh, I see. Okay.
All right. So hunting was often a privilege of the nobility. Venison as a game meat was often associated with the upper class. It was seen as a status symbol and often featured in feasts and banquets in noble houses.
Okay. Aha! Food of the kings and queens.
I knew you'd start playing with me eventually. It's just a game, fucker. All right. Right. And then there's the practicality of it. Right? We're hunting. Venison stew was particularly popular during the colder months. Stews are common since they could be cooked in a single pot over an open fire. Plus, the rich, hearty nature of venison stew made it ideal for warmth and sustenance during winters.
Lovely. Oh, lovely doesn't work. I mean, it kind of works.
I was going to keep going.
Sounds like the perfect medieval comfort food.
Lovely works too. Absolutely. And without refrigeration, preserving meat was a challenge. Turning fresh venison into a stew helped preserve it longer, especially when combined with techniques like salting or smoking.
If I'm not mistaken, nutrition-wise, venison is a winner, right?
In the winter, yes.
It says is a winner.
Just fucking definitely.
I swear you just like to write stuff that I would never say.
Well, otherwise you're just like, that's neat.
Nutrition-wise, venison's a winner, right?
Or you could be like, what about nutritional value? Or you could be like, what about, you could even throw in the vegetarian again, and I'll say the same thing I said last time.
Eat a deer. I'm just kidding.
Did you say hit a deer?
Eat a deer, yeah.
Eat a deer.
Eat a deer.
That's right. It's lean, high in protein, low in fat, when cooked as a stew with herbs, vegetables, and sometimes wine or ale. More likely ale. It made for a flavorful and nourishing meal.
How about we change that to like, why is venison great for stews?
Love it.
See? You would say, well, because it's lean and high in protein.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. And then you're like,
What does that mean? I guess medieval cuisine was all about complex flavors.
so how would you say that?
Guess they had more complex taste buds than I would have thought.
There you go. Sweet. Say that. Yes. Medieval times liked combined multiple ingredients. A stew was a perfect canvas for such culinary creativity, allowing for the blending of various flavors and textures.
So venison stew's popularity in medieval times comes down to the socio-economic context of hunting, its practicality, nutritional value, and the evoking culinary landscape of the area.
Era. That's right. Now imagine pairing a rich venison stew with a spiced winter ale. So I thought about throwing in this winter ale here, but thoughts on keeping it out.
Thoughts on throwing. Oh, the name of one?
Yeah.
I think because it's not our beer here, let's just keep it out.
All right, cool.
If it's our beer, then I say we
Cool.
As per example.
Because I did go ahead and make sure that it was available. It's available at Applejack's right now in Golden. But
yeah,
I'll take that out. Okay. So we're pairing this hearty venison stew with a nice winter ale. This winter ale paired with the venison stew creates a harmonious blend of flavors and sensations appealing to our five senses. So there should be a deep, dark hue that with rich, frothy head, beautifully complements the robust, earthy appearance of the venison stew. Visual pairing sets a rustic, inviting tone for the meal. Spicy notes of the ale echo the herby aromas of the venison stew, creating a symphony of scents. Sometimes if there's hints of chocolate in the ale, it adds a subtle sweet citrus fragrance, providing a delightful contrast to the savory, meaty smell of the stew. The strong, smooth character of the beer with its undercurrents of spice and a touch of sweetness pairs exquisitely with the rich, gamey flavor of the venison. The spices in the beer complement the herbs. The smoothness of the winter ale with its mild carbonation contrasts pleasantly with the hearty, thick texture of the stew. This combination makes sure each sip of beer refreshes the palate, making each bite of stew as enjoyable as the first. And as always, the sound of the beer being poured, a gentle fizz and clink, pairs with the comforting simmer of the stew, enhancing the overall dining experience. So the pairing of a venison stew with a winter ale is a delightful match for any winter meal where the beer's warm spice and strength beautifully complements and contrasts the rich, savory flavors of the stew, creating a multi-sensory dining experience that is both comforting and indulgent. Okay. I need to take that out.
I was reading your King Arthur story.
I was like, I need a story. But we don't have to use it, of course.
Is this just all made up?
Yep.
Yes, it is.
It's fiction.
So I'll throw it in the fun facts, I hear.
Wait.
We could do something, I know, with all the time we have, like, make a fun side story out of it.
Well, basically all I wanted to be is like, what this... So thinking of medieval times and royalty and being who I am, right? Like I love English literature. I've always been drawn to King Arthur. And it was like, oh, well, is there any like historical significance with King Arthur and winter ales? And there really isn't. Mm-hmm. And so it's like making it up. And
well, you put it in your food pairing.
And I could.
Like,
but it's not about the hunt, right? Whereas the food pairings like is about the Jägermeister going out for the hunt, right? Okay. Where this is more like I wanted to really touch upon the community and the celebration during, they talk about Yuletide or the winter solstice or Christmas, right? Where people come together and
maybe you intertwine it with that story instead of the hunt. It wouldn't be that drastic of a change, right? Instead you could use your intro and be like, for this like food pairing, wanted to introduce the partially fictional story about if King Arthur were to do a food pairing. And his men were out on the hunt, his Jägermeisters, out on the hunt and bring back some venison and how they would prepare it and drink and celebrate together.
I gotta pee. I don't hate that.
Okay. It'd be kind of a fun way to whistle tie it in. Whistle tie.